what you did was not nice. It's not nice to do that.
Invincible, an animated adult TV show focusing on superheroes, came out all the way back in 2021 on Amazon Prime. And I have been recommended to talk about this show for a while, not because it's popular, but because it's an amazing show. But before I talk about the show itself, I need to talk about the comic that it's based on. Created by Robert Kirkman, the same creator of The Walking Dead, the series ran for 144 issues, from 2003 to 2018. The comics follow Mark Grayson, a Viltrumite, and the firstborn son of Nolan Grayson, or Omni-Man. Since Mark has superpowers, he becomes the superhero Invincible, and he goes on many adventures trying to save the world. The comics are actually pretty good, especially if you are a fan of Invincible, like the show. I would definitely recommend you reading the comics. They are definitely better than the Boys comic, which, I mean, I don't know, maybe they're just not for me. I feel like the show does a better job with writing the characters instead of just edgy humor and hating on superheroes. But we're not here to talk about the Boys. We're here to talk about Invincible. And the show is actually pretty faithful to the comics. A little bit of changes here and there, but very minor. But before I actually talk about the differences between the comic and the show, I need to talk about the first season. Season 1 does a very good job with introducing its cast of characters with its beautiful animation and interesting storylines. We follow Mark trying to become a superhero just like his father, but it's a lot harder than he thought it would be. While at the same time, the show does an amazing job with dealing with its twist villain, Nolan, or Omni-Man. Now, we first get to see his evil side with him killing off the Guardians. At first, we are confused as to why he's actually doing it, but the more the show goes on, and some people that he is connected to, we start to understand why, except for his son, Mark. It isn't until Mark sees that his father is killing a reincarnation of one of the members from the Guardians. This is when Mark finally finds out about the truth about his father, about being sent to Earth, not to protect it or save anybody, but to conquer it. And this is the first time that Mark truly sees his dad's true intentions of inspiring him to become a superhero, not to save, but to, of course, conquer it along with him. No one tries to reason with Mark as to why this is a good thing, but Mark grew up on Earth. He sees Earth as his home, and of course he's not going to let his father just destroy it, just because he was sent to. And of course this leads to a battle, and there is no contest. It's very much shown to us who is more powerful. But in this moment, no one knows that the powers that he has used to solve everything won't solve his son's hatred towards him. Even if he still wants to conquer Earth, while Mark doesn't, he would still have to kill Mark in order to do so, but he won't. He has gotten too soft ever since living on Earth. He has experienced a lot of joy with Mark. His relationship has grown a lot. This scene is very emotional. And of course, Nolan leaves the planet Earth, ending season 1 with a perfect finale. Now I want to talk about the differences between the comic and the show. Now, I don't want to spoil the entirety of the comic, and I just want to talk about the 2 seasons of the show, to talk about how far the show has gotten into adapting the comics so that I don't have to spoil everything. So let's start off with as to how Mark got his superhero name. In the comics, Mark is in high school and there's some bully bullying some kid. Mark stands up for the kid, but the bully starts bullying Mark to back off. Then Mark actually beats up the bully. Then he gets sent to the office, to the principal, and the principal tells him that he's not invincible, and that's how he gets his superhero name. While in the show, his father, Nolan, of course, gives him a little bit of inspiration towards the name. Amber, Mark's girlfriend, is easily the worst character in the show. She is so unlikable and annoying that it's very hard to even find her interesting, and she always finds some way to just argue about Mark for not being there for her, despite how much he tries to. And she's African American instead of the comics where she's white. There's nothing wrong with this change, it's just the show being diverse, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I hate how she is in the show. In the comic, she's a lot more reasonable about Mark's actions, while in the show, like I said, she's just annoying and uninteresting. And I'm pretty glad that in the second season, Mark finally breaks up with her. Now it's time to talk about season 2, and yes, I actually meant it that the show is pretty faithful to the comics. But the creator does want the show to have a lot more seasons. In fact, he wants 8 or 9 seasons of the show. And I mean, the show can change. It can change a lot of aspects from the comics. Kind of like what The Walking Dead did. While its first couple of seasons were faithful to the comics, especially season 1, the show changed a lot, especially from the comics doing its own thing, which the show kind of started to become bad around that time. But I definitely do see Invincible going on for that long, even if animation takes a long time. And I still feel like adapting a faithful adaptation of Invincible is still possible without changing so much stuff. But again, let's talk about season 2. Season 2 picks up exactly where season 1 left off, only by 1 month, but we get to see some new characters like Alan the Alien, voiced by Seth Rogen, seeing Oliver Grayson, Mark's half brother, after Nolan leaves Earth, goes to a different planet, and everybody just being really miserable. Season 2 improves a lot of things from the first season. Now, season 1 didn't have a lot of problems, but the problems I had with it definitely were fixed here. But what sucks about season 2 is how Amazon treated it. Because, well, it was put into 2 parts. Not only does that mean that the animators and whoever work on the show get less money, but that also means that we have to wait a long time to actually see the full season. And that is just not fair. And it's just so stupid in general. And that's the main reason why nobody talked about the second half of season 2. When season 2 came out with its first part, a lot of people started talking about it. And then when the second half came out in March, yeah, that's when nobody was talking about it, which just sucks. Now, I don't want to spoil the entirety of season 2 since there are some people who have not even seen the entirety of season 2 after its release, and that just goes to show that the whole splitting up part was just not a good idea, especially for a business standpoint. But no, seriously, like please go watch season 2. It is so amazing and might honestly be better than the first season. But how faithful is it to the comics? Well, if I'm going to be honest, it's pretty faithful. So, again, I don't want to spoil season 2, and I hope that this whole splitting up thing for us waiting for such a long time does not happen with season 3. Season 3 is already done with its voice recording, but we'll see how long that takes for us to actually get season 3. But yes, please go check out season 2. I just want to mention at least like what season 2 is about. I don't want to go full on into season 2. I really want people to watch season 2. That's how amazing it is. So please go check it out. All in all, Invincible is an amazing show and is a must watch. The beautiful animation, the fantastic voice acting, the action alone, just the emotional beats that it has. Dude, this show is just absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad that there is a show like this on. And please just go support it, and hopefully when season 3 comes out, I will definitely make a video on it. But for now, go check out the show. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.